Hi there Scorpio, welcome to your reading for February 2025. I've cleansed your space and I meditated on your cards. I'm going to start going through the astrological events for the month of February. If you're not interested in this, please have a look in the description box down below for the timestamp to when the tarot reading actually starts. But let's begin with talking about the conjunction of the Moon and Saturn, but also the conjunction of Moon and Venus on the 1st of February. The conjunction of Moon and Saturn can bring a sense of emotional isolations, feelings of loneliness, sadness, or a lack of emotional fulfillment. The Moon is the planet of emotions, Saturn is the planet of structure and discipline. And it would be a great time to have a look at how your structure is impacting your emotions and vice versa. It's all about emotional challenges and growing from them, but also with them. Make sure life demands are not weighing you down too much, but if they are, take a look at what you can do about it to realign yourself. We also have the conjunction of the Moon and Venus, like I said, that can bring a blend of beauty, emotional depth, financial ease, but also challenges in relationships and emotional stability. We're going to look at creativity, security, beauty, and pleasure as a collective. Emotion will come in touch with pleasure, but we might want to combine this with a little bit of discipline, since Saturn is also dancing with the Moon at the same time. The Moon will also be in the sign of Pisces at this time, a highly intuitive sign that is literally represented by duality. You have the two fish swimming in opposite direction. So we might actually really benefit from swimming deep into our own waters and connect with our subconscious. The Moon will be at its closest point to Earth on the 2nd of February in the sign of Aries, which probably will reignite our energies in order for us to achieve what we want to achieve before the full moon hits. We have Jupiter coming out of retrograde in the sign of Gemini on the 4th of February. It has been a period of introspection, reassessment. We have hopefully been reconsidering past decisions and had time to reflect on our own spiritual values along with our moral values. Jupiter is the planet of principles, growth, expansion, adventure, healing, good fortune, and miracles. So we can really expect to cash in properly from the introspection that we had since Jupiter went into retrograde. We have the full moon in Leo on the 12th of February. We want to be seen, we want to celebrate, we want to embrace the unique ways we shine. We want to connect to our inner child, having a sense of childlike wonder, where you find yourself where you feel like a natural leader. It is a time for not quitting on yourself and have some friendly competition to drive you forward. And Venus energy will be quite prominent in the month of February. It's going also to shine its brightest on February 16th. So we've been able to see Venus throughout the month of January, but it will be at its absolute brightest on February 16th. We have Mars retrograde also ending in the sign of Caunce, a fellow water sign, on the 24th of February. Motivation will slowly return and a period of feeling tired and exhausted will end. Mars is ruling our personal energy, so it will ask us to check our own energies so it's not damaging or draining before a new fresh period of action can actually begin. What has been stalled is slowly starting to move again, and with it brings new awareness to our own limitation, priorities, and the ability to nurture our own within. We have the Sun entering Pisces on the 19th of February. It is a time for healing, engaging in spiritual practices, creative projects, letting go of the past, and preparing for a new astrological new year once the Sun starts entering the sign of Aries by the end of March. We have also the new moon in Pisces, so we have the Sun and the Moon propelling us into the month of March by the end of February. On the 20th of February, it begins and it encourages us to reflect on the importance of surrendering to going with the flow. It also encourages us to look where our opposing forces within us can actually integrate and become one, to build a bridge in between those, because that is going to be a great strength in the future. It is not a time to check out, rather than to check in and allow yourself to feel, to really feel here, Scorpio. Okay, so before we start with the Celtic cross for the month, I would like to cleanse the space with you, and you're going to hear 3 loud sounds, and I will begin now. Okay, thank you so much for being here. This is exciting because I have a few new decks that I'm using. So we're going to have a look first and foremost on the spirit animals that you will be connected to for the month of February 2025. What is Scorpio's spirit animals for the month of February? We would like 2 here, Spirit. Could we please be connected to spirit animal, a horse and a gazelle? A lot of people and a lot of signs has actually had the gazelle. So the gazelle is very aware of its surroundings. It just needs to be making sure that you're not over stimulated by the surroundings, or over protective, or over cautious, hyper vigilant, because it's very aware of its surroundings and it's connected to the fire element. And it can be very attentive, but it can also be nitty-gritty with the details. So if you want to have a deeper look into the spirit animals and the meanings, please have a Google. We also have the horse, which is connected to the earth element, and it's a very grounded being, a proud animal. And I feel like since the moon is here, it's also connected to the divine feminine. It's a great worker, it's steady, it just keeps on going. And it's free, isn't it? So please have a look through that if you want to. Have a little Google. We also want to have a look at the energies, what you need to be aware of in the month of February before we get into the reading. It is basically like a theme that usually shows throughout the reading. So could you please, Spirit, guide a beautiful Scorpio for the month of February? What do they need to be aware of? What do they need to keep in mind? What is the theme for the month of February? We usually go for 3 cards here. Oops. Thank you. So we're starting from the order we got the cards. So we have Neptune. Neptune is about magic, imagination, and illusions. It is connected to the sign of Pisces. So maybe since we have so much Pisces energy in February, you might want to have a look into that and really connect to that deeper side within. You have Master Manifester, which is, you know, your words create your reality. You can really create everything this month, and it's through movement. And I feel like these are dancing here, so it's kind of shaking up the energy. We also have honor your individuality and who you actually are. It's also number 11 there, which is a master number, but it's also 1 + 1 is 2, which is about balance and making sure that you are in balance. Thank you so much. And really finding where you are, but where you're finding your individuality and where you're finding who you are, and being very sturdy in yourself will also help creating the magic and help you manifest in the world. All right? Could I please have the energies of Scorpio's past? What is the energy you're coming out and into February with? The Knight of Wands into the reverse. So maybe you feel like your creative projects have been stalled somewhat. It's been put a bit on pause. The Knights are like rebellious youth. You know, they have a lot of learning to do. They're connected to risk-taking, irrational, being in your prime, but courage, mercy, humility, and sacrifice. And maybe you feel like, since this is the Knight of Wands, it is about action, adventure, fearlessness, limitless. He is a man of action and manifestation of an idea, and he's really focused on action. And he can be a little bit reckless and not consider consequences. But I feel like here that you might have been feeling a little bit stalled. You might be yearning a little bit for adventure. You might be feeling not necessarily limitless, but like you limited and put in a little bit of a square here, Scorpio, and that you really want to take action and move forward. But maybe you also been feeling a little bit drained of energy, like you've not had enough. Could I have the hopes and the fears for Scorpio for the month of February? Could you please guide them for the highest good? And that is connecting to your... She is a card of analyzing, but she is also a card of balance. The High Priestess here, you have number 2. So it's about balance, but she is the embodiment of intuition and mystery and the inner voice. She's really embracing her inner guidance. And she understands to direct the outer world, she needs to direct and understand her inner world. She is the guardian of the unconscious, and she asks you to travel inwards and listen closely, be pure in your intentions. And she is also symbolized by the pomegranate, which is a sign of fertility, but also fruition of your ideas. So you really want to get in, hoping to get in alignment, but also getting in touch more with your intuition for the month of February. And I feel here you want to get in touch with the creator in you, and that's how you know it's going to work. Thank you so much, Spirit. What is Scorpio's present energy? What do they need to be aware of? How is their present situation? The moon. You don't know whether or not it is your intuition guiding you or if it's illusion. You don't know if it's just something in your mind. Here, it could also be like there's been some instances where you kind of question your intuition. It is usually a card representing, you know, it's night, so you need to take small steps throughout the night, or maybe you've been actually putting your subconscious on hold or not really been wanting to listen to it, and that's where you feel like maybe your energy has been going to that, why you not had enough energy throughout the month. Could I please have another card describing the moon here? What does Scorpio need to know? Okay, so we have this coming up here. It's the Nine of Swords into the reverse, but I will read the words here because this is how I mainly use the deck. It's about the moon here is connected to releasing fear, healing and relief, ending of mental torment, recovery, facing life, finding help, and learning to cope. It's about balance as well, isn't it? And you also have the Page of Pentacles into the reverse. So it has been a lack of progress, immature, underachiever, missed opportunity, poor prospect, foolish, lazy procrastinator, and missed chances. Maybe you feel like you've been missing out on certain things. Maybe you've been missing out on job offers, or you've been missing out on proper connection. That's what you're feeling, but don't worry, because maybe those were not for you. Maybe they were not meant for you. What is the present, what is the crossing energy of the present here? It could either be helping you or not. It could either be a blockage or actually helping you, but you got the World as a crossing energy here. And I don't know if you feel like you want to travel. Maybe that's why you feel like you've been feeling stuck. It's like what I just said a minute ago, talking about a little bit of stagnation, of things being put on hold. And you have the World here, so you will be starting to be able to travel. Maybe you want to travel somewhere, maybe you want to move, maybe you want to go abroad and get a job. The World is about fulfillment, harmony, and it's a completion to the major arcana. So you have the major arcana here and you have the major arcana here. So I feel like it's kind of a big change coming into your life, and it's a card that says I belong. So you can decide here, this is the crossing energy, just knowing that you're belonging in the world. It is a card about absolute unity, perfection, accomplishments from inner and outer energies, welcoming joy and celebration. And this is due to achievements and learning, and maybe even, you know, the time of introspect here. It's actually helped you come into certain conclusions. So this is the crossing energy. So I feel like it has been quite heavy, but you're looking up and forward. So some people might be traveling and maybe needing a little bit of fresh energy from a bit of traveling or going abroad or even moving, changing the environment around you. All right, that's great. Thank you so much. It is also a card that's connected to Saturn, which is quite stern. So you've been putting quite a lot of energy and work into it. Even though you've been feeling like you've been put on hold and put on pause, you've been taking the small steps in the dark, and you might be feeling like your intuition is actually coming back and is starting to flow again. Maybe that is also the move of energy, the movement of energy. Can I please have the conscious energy for Scorpio for the month of February? And we have Justice. Justice is the number 11. There's also a scale there. It's about balance. 11 is a master number, but it also adds up to number 2, which is also about balance. So justice is about cause and effect, having some sort of clarity and seeing truth. And everyone is accountable for their own actions. And you need to embrace fairness and correct maybe past wrongs. It's about karmic retribution. What you get is a direct result of your actions. And there's also a double-sided sword here. So what you decide to do with the information that you're gaining or the clarity that you're getting is completely up to you, but you need to be fair and you need to understand the two sides of the coin, so to speak. I feel like this is quite heavy and this will be quite prominent, and you might be stepping into the role of, I don't want to say a karmic representer, but I feel like you know in your heart and are really connecting to that moral compass and that inner eye of yours. And it might actually also be connected to the planet of Venus, which will be quite prominent in the month of February. I feel like this is you stepping into delivering not necessarily justice and not necessarily karma to people, but you're stepping into that role of seeing people for who they are and maybe seeing the backstory of it and realizing whether or not to release them, like in a sense of accountability, but also you can be the one not necessarily stabbing, but you know, sometimes you need to cut people out. All right, if they're hurting you, you need to cut them out and you need to be balanced about it. That one is quite heavy and it will be quite prominent, I think. You will be getting into that balance, but you also need to remember to have that magic and love. It's a balance about, I feel like there's a balance of imagination along with reality. And hope versus realness. Don't let realness overtake either. There might be hope or sowing a seed, but yeah, you understand what I'm saying. We have that subconscious here, the key to the mystery, why you might not be where you are right now, or understanding what's lurking beneath. What is lurking beneath here? What are you subconsciously not aware of that you might benefit for your highest good here, Scorpio? You are not a victim, right? The Seven of Swords, the sevens are always about waiting and higher purpose. And I feel like you are a little bit done waiting here. It's a card of deception, trickery, turning a blind eye and being tactical, survival mode versus thriving. And I feel like you're a bit tired of turning a blind eye. You might be a bit overthinking, you have been a bit overthinking, and you are done having this survival mode. You're done thinking, you know, she can just take this blindfold off and realize that she's not suffering. And I feel like this is the energy that's lurking under your subconscious, is that you've realized that you can take that blindfold off. What does Scorpio need to know about this Seven of Swords into the reverse? It's kind of like a release. It has really clicked. You got the Knight of Swords in the reversed, and I feel like you have been, I'm going to read all these words in case that something is clicking with you, but rash, forceful, bully, vicious, unfocused, ruthless, arrogant, restless, impulsive, tactless, rude and aggressive. But I feel like you are stepping into this ambitions and having a direct impact and being a bit focused. These words are about the balance. Maybe you've been feeling a bit restless and impulsive. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit aggressive and tactless. And this is also a card about being tactical. So I feel like you are really aligning that tactical approach to things, like knowing when to be stern and judge, but also knowing when to maybe release it somewhat, because it's not maybe coming out as you're pleasing. Maybe it's coming out a bit harsher, maybe it's coming out a bit too soft. You literally sitting there on your chair, on your throne, and stepping into that power of realizing that you are the one in charge of your manifesting. Yeah? Can I please have the energy of Scorpio for the month of February? Who are they? The Queen of Swords. So this is exactly what I've been talking about. So the queens are expressing their power through creativity. And the Queen of Swords, she is completely and utterly perceptive. She has a clear mind. And she is very independent, and she is a fair ruler. Once again, you have the sword that can be used for good, but also for bad. But she decides when to use it, and she uses this properly. She's almost mastering this way of thinking and her intellect. She is full of empathy, but also she's not being taken advantage of. There's a balance between intellect and empathy. And you're not over-analyzing things, but you can get into the analyzing part without overthinking it. You also have strength, which also comes with the sign of infinity or 8, which is connected to karma. Once again, you start feeling strong, you start feeling courageous. This is also a major arcana, so I feel like this is a kind of a great awakening to realizing that you are strong and you are the creator and you are the one to choose, if that makes sense. She is a card about instinct and confidence and having that inner strength, radiating power from, you know, inner understanding, compassion and trust. And feeling that for other people as well. She's embracing her inner strength and acknowledging vulnerabilities. Any vulnerabilities is a sign of inner strength, right? This is connected to the sun, and that's who you are right now. You're really embracing these energies. That is a wonderful connection there for you, Scorpio. The environment around you, could I please have a look at that? What is influencing you right now? Could be friend groups, could be social media platforms, the Queen of Wands. So, once again, the queens are expressing their power through creativity. And I feel maybe there's some jealousy or stagnation, resentfulness, or just the environment around you is not being very inspirational. It's the same old, and you're getting tired of it. You're not getting out and exercising your creative muscles. You're not exercising your intellect in the same way that you wish you could. And you know, she's inspiring others through her passions, but that is also what I'm picking up on, that you not really have been connecting to that passion around you, because it feels like same old. So I feel like the world that is the reason why that is a crossing energy, because you need to even go out for a walk or move your body is changing, transmuting your energy that you have around you. Could I please have some clarification on the Queen of Wands here? Oh, okay. What does Scorpio need to know about the environment around them? You have a lot of queens here, which shows me that you are closing up. You have the Lovers. So this could also be about balance between duality. Maybe you've been too much in your divine masculine form and not connected to your feminine form. But you could also have been too much in your feminine form and not connected to your masculine form. It could also be about, you know, the twos are the Lovers, the twos. The twos are about balance, and sure, there's two people in this card, but it's a card about partnership, union, duality, choice, love, and it is full of trust, strength, and confidence. But I also see this mountain in the background, and that's what every couple is going through as they're walking through. There's always a mountain to climb and an achievement to be seen as achieving together, but also climbing it together. So if there's any rough patches in your relationship right now, make sure that, you know, since this is into the upright, I feel like a very strong energy. Maybe you both need to go out and do something creative together to kind of spark back up. But this is a union that is worth sharing and having, and there's always mountains to climb. And if you're doing it together, you're growing stronger as a union, as a couple together. But I feel like there might be some stagnation, not knowing where things are. Maybe not necessarily going in the relationship, but going with things around in your everyday life. Like if work is very stagnant and then you feel like you're pouring all this energy into it, and you might not feel like, I'm getting an outlet for something. Does that make sense? Could I please have the short-term outcome for Scorpio for the month of February? What do they need to know working through these feelings and really getting online here? Because this is a great reading, is realizing that you are accountable for your own actions, but therefore also holding other people accountable, and finding that, all right, I need to have some energies moved around in my life. I really need to connect to that and create with that. And I would like to start moving a little bit. I want to see some progress. Maybe if you're doing any projects on the side, any creative projects, any hobbies, like get really in touch with that. We have another 7, 8. It is an 8. It's, yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. It is a transcendence of energy, this one. She's realizing she's not imprisoned. She sees truth, and that where you're coming from. Yes. Sorry, I really mix that up with the Seven of Swords, but I got the message of her being not imprisoned anymore, and that's you. We got the Eight here of Pentacles, and the Eight is also transcendence energy. And I feel like, you know, it is a card about education, apprenticeship, achievement, and the universe creates through me is basically that what this card is saying. It is into the reversed, so this might be blocked as you and will go into the upright as you're working through this energy, and you will start feeling like the universe is really creating through me, like you're really connecting to what you're supposed to be doing, what you want to be doing to get that stagnant energy going. But I feel like that's might be why it's still into the reverse, because that energy just needs to start moving. You need to, and maybe that's also why I said about the dancing. Dancing is just start changing and shaking up the energy a little bit. To shake the energy up and to transcend this energy, you need to start moving and doing things that really sets you and yourself on fire and expressing yourself. That's what you need to know about that. But this Eight of Pentacles is really also building wealth, because if you do something that you do love, maybe you don't need to work a day in your life anymore, as long as you're connected to your hobbies. You know, sometimes, you know, you need to do things that are not fun anyways, but I feel like there's something waiting here for you that is still quite blocked, because you need to just get into line with this creator mode that you should be in and that you are working towards, that you will get into. Does that make sense? And this is also a card about avoiding stagnation and embracing your growth. Maybe you can take a course of learning to get this energy moving, whatever you're interested in, or maybe learn something new with your partner to get that energy moving a little bit. Do something together that will actually boost your minds together and being creative together. All right, could I have the long-term outcome for Scorpio for the month of February? What do they need to be aware of for the long-term outcome as they're working through this energy? We have this one I just picked up because I thought that would be fun, but you have a tower moment there. So you have the 5, 6, 7 then of wands, it's called. So it's about waiting and higher purpose, but it's about standing your ground, defense, maintaining control. But I feel like since it's in the reversed, that you are wanting to let go somewhat of control. Maybe you don't need to feel like you need to defend your boundaries anymore once you get this creative juices flowing, let's say that. Maybe you don't need to feel like you need to defend your boundaries, because they are flexible. They are able to move and shape in new different ways as you are transcending your energy. It is a card of balance and of offense and defense, and mastering that in order to have victory. But I feel like you realizing that the balance on offense and defense don't need to be so black or white. And the Tower is a card of sudden upheaval, pride, disaster, breaking structure that needs to be broken to build a stronger foundation. You know, the Tower always comes up when there's a huge realization. Maybe when it comes to you realizing what you want to do with your life, maybe it is about, you know, breaking down how you are treating yourself and realizing that making a schedule that actually fits you. And you know, it also is about, funny that I said about taking a course of learning, because this is about not having fear and not fearing a lesson, but learning from it. It could be a big thing, it could also be a subtle one, being in the background throughout the month or throughout the year, actually, since it's a long-term outcome here. Could I please have another card of the Tower and Scorpio's long-term outcome. Oh. And I feel like you want to focus on being the King of Pentacles here. And that's what you, maybe even if you've been investing in some things, maybe that will come crashing down, or not crashing down, that sounds very sudden, but maybe sometimes things, in order for us to learn from it, something stronger needs to happen. And it might be seen as a horrible thing that happens at the time, but it should be seen as a valuable lesson that you take in with you, right? I don't know what that is actually about. I feel different things right now, but I feel maybe investments, or if you have invested time in something, that's also a sort of investment. That is what that is about. But it will bring you into the King of Pentacles. It's about focusing on being a practical leader, prosperity, business, security provider, abundance, reliable, safe, kind, patriarchal, protective, and sensual. So these are the energies that you are wanting to learn from the Tower in order to become the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles, he's expressing his power through authority. He is very abundant. He is very efficient. He is holding himself accountable and also holding other people accountable. So that is a red thread here in the reading. And he's happy to share, but he's making sure that no one is using him. He has accumulated a lot of wealth, and he's knowing his worth. And he's also knowing that his worth is actually not in the things that he has accumulated, whether that is money or things. And he's happy to have it shared. And it's also about following a higher calling. So that is really the energy that you are connecting there with. Okay, that's wonderful. Could I please have any final messages for Scorpio for the month of February? What do they need to know? There is a higher power once again. So maybe the things that you are about to learn is not happening to you, it's happening for you for some reason. It's also about Moon Goddess. Moon is very intuitive, isn't she? Ooh, go for it. If you have any ideas that you are wondering about, it might be a lesson in the long run, but in order for you to realign yourself, you need to go for it. If there's anything that you want to be doing, a creative project, start taking steps towards it instead of just maybe talking about it or thinking about it. And you also have the dark moon and the past. What do we need to know about the dark moon and the past? I feel like it's, making peace with it. Could I please have a card to describe the past here? It's two snakes there, and it is the year of the snake, and the snake always sheds its skin. What does Scorpio need to know about the past? You are worthy. So it might be that you're worthy of healing and you're worthy of connections. It might be a good time to dive into the past and to see where your past and present can actually intertwine. That's quite interesting. Okay, please have another card describing the past here for Scorpio before we finish the reading. What do they need to be aware of about the past? deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. So I feel like this has to, maybe you need to connect with your inner child. Maybe you need to just go through this period of introspection to connect to some part of you that needs to be healed in order for you to realize that you are worthy, and maybe even that to connect with your creative energy to propel yourself forward and getting in contact and listening more to your intuition. And retreat, rest, and be held. Allow yourself to be held, because you, Scorpio, you're very, very strong, but sometimes it's just allowed for you as well to just exist in someone else's arms. And maybe even retreat and rest and be held could be that deep replenishment that you're searching for, that space in which maybe you've been feeling a little bit hard lately, in order for you to sort your energies out. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit hard, but it is okay to retreat inwards and into the home space and just rest. You don't necessarily need to get anything done, but I feel like you want to get things done. So I feel like there needs to be a balance here about you. It looks like she is smelling the flowers there, and it's something that you need to allow yourself to do in order. You want to move forward and you have a lot of drive, but you also need to allow yourself to stop and smell the flowers along the way. Okay? Thank you so much, Scorpio, for being here for this reading. If anything resonated, please leave a like, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully I see you in the month of March. Take very good care of yourselves.